Alright, howdy folks! Happy Friday, the weekend is finally here. I have finished drafting my paper, aside from one figure that I'm still waiting on software for, which means I get to reward myself with an early stream. I say early as if it's not already almost 4 o'clock, but that's fine. It's time for some more stories from Seoul. I'm so excited to see where we go from here. So if I go to load, I should have my save from yesterday. Yeah, there it is. Soon, there we go, because like, this doesn't look like it's selected. Select? Oh, okay. I think it was loading there. Alright, so I had to go to the armory, I believe. So we're gonna move. Oh wait, I have a map. Hang on. I forgot. It's not that one, it's this one. Armory was over here? No, that's the hangar. Hang on. Armory was over here? There it is. The other side of the map are in. Yeah, let's go. Now that I have permission, you swipe your keycard through the card reader set into the terminal by the armory's door. There's a slight delay, but quickly enough the terminal flashes a message. The message. Little typo. Access granted, and the door slides open. Hopefully my reading coherence is slightly improved today. I didn't have quite as intense brain work as yesterday. Ooh, look at all this! First thing that you notice about the armory is that the benches and lockers remind you of the changing rooms from the training center back at the military academy on Europa Colony. Back in the academy days. As you walk past them, you take a closer look and realize that they're the exact same kind of benches used on the larger ships you've been stationed on, which had sports facilities and changing rooms on board. Instead of sports clothing and equipment, these lockers are filled with a selection of combat gear, from body armor or electroshock weapons to a variety of small and light weapons. I mean, I was slightly judging myself, but is it wrong? Is it wrong? I don't think it's wrong. You know, this is the first time I've ever actually been inside a ship's armory. Also, hello, hi. But I'm not judging you, that's fair. I will accept this judgment happily because in the scheme of life, this is what matters. This is what matters. Anyway, back to game. How's it going? That's not really surprising. It's only the security detail that would have access. It's fun. I'm enjoying this a lot so far. Even in a situation where a ship's expecting to encounter a boarding party, it's security's responsibility to distribute weaponry to the crew in advance. I am also glad it's Friday. I got enough done this week that I don't have to work it all on the weekend, and I'm so happy I can just have it to myself. Good riddance. It's to ensure there's no panic or crew don't get a hold of weaponry they're not trained to use. That's standard regulation. You should know that. Well... ... All I remember from my firearm training was when I dropped my electroshock weapon and accidentally zapped one of the other girls from operations. Cassie! We have the right to bear arms, by which we mean the chief. What glorious arms they are. Our trainer made me use a hand-cranked battery charger to recharge all the power packs as punishment. No, computer, I don't want an update right now. Go away. There we go. That must have taken forever. You bet. But you should have seen my gun show afterwards. Pew pew! Da. Which reminds me, the captain said I was authorized to collect my sidearm. I should get it whilst I'm here. Windows is also judging you and trying to censor the stream. Nothing can censor me. Nothing. So, have you ever got to use any firearms? Why do you ask? Well, I know you're security, but you never tell me about anything exciting. I always imagined you facing down bad guys with some scary pistol the size of my forearm saying cool lines like, "How many shots did I fire? I don't know myself, but the question is, do you feel lucky, bub?" You've been watching way too many old movies. Aw, not even once? Most of my job has been dealing with crew members who get a bit tetchy after being cooped up on a ship for too long and start fights with each other. We don't talk about it since the incident. Even then, I just tend to break things up and talk them down. Most of the time, no one even ends up in the brig. You've got to have done something more exciting than that. I mean, there was the time my entire crew died and I got deeply traumatized, but I don't think you want to hear about that. Well, I knew you were an exciting action hero. Tell me, tell me. So this one time, a pilot found out that someone on the maintenance team had been trying to hit on his girlfriend. He got so mad that he got into his armored frame and used it to corner the guy in the hangar. Oh, God. No way! Way. He was threatening to turn the guy into paste and had made a real mess of some cargo containers. Because the hangars are a low-gravity zone, I was able to make a jump from a gangway to the armored frame and then overrode the cockpit access from the outside. The pilot was too focused on this engineer to notice me. Whoa, a frame jack! Did you use a cool line when the cockpit opened? Pick on someone your own size or something? No way. I put 50,000 volts into the guy's shoulder the second I had a clear shot. Efficient. Aw, come on, you're no fun. Let's look around. The spacesuits in here are for the ship's security detail. They're a little bit more robust than the suits handed out to the rest of the crew, for obvious reasons, but aside from that, they don't offer much of a tactical advantage. This locker contains a variety of small arms and light weapons, only for use against external hostile forces. Even then, their stopping power is relatively low because of the dangers of using live rounds inside a ship. That's reasonable. Okay, is that this one? This locker contains electroshock weapons. They're non-lethal and intended to be used for crew control in case of a mutiny or violence that breaks out for some other reason. Okay, let's use... There's no reason to use those now. Oh my god, stop trying to update, computer, go away! I have things to do. They're a real pain to put back as well. This is the weapons locker with the electroshock weapons in. I'm authorized to take one small weapon from here as part of my role as security officer. This one will do. Oh, look at it. It's so little. What's that? It's just my standard issue duty weapon for my role as security officer. Fires a barbed projectile that contains a miniature battery. It's non-lethal, but more than enough to stop someone in their tracks. I see. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot? Absolutely not, girl. Oh, come on. No, sit down. Loja-chan, let's go 90s anime space time! It's here, it's happening, the best way to wrap up a Friday. Accessing a weapon locker sends an automatic alert to the bridge. Even if I wanted to examine the weaponry, I wouldn't want to set off an alarm up there without telling anyone what I was doing. Alright, well I think we're good to go. Now what do I do? With Cassandra leading the way, the two of you leave the armory behind you and step into the aft thoroughfare. Cassandra pauses for a moment, looking left then right before turning back to face you with a smile on her face. Well, that's it, Ren. Consider yourself officially acquainted with all there is to be acquainted with on board the one and only JFS Gundog. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I did. It's probably up there in my top 5 ship orientations. Top 5? Okay, you're right. Top 3. What? Maybe a triple shift to start your time aboard the Gundog is more to your taste. Well, that did happen to me on board the Thunderbolt. So if that didn't happen, I guess it'd definitely be my favorite orientation ever. What a coincidence. It looks like your schedule's clear until tomorrow morning. Whoa, in that case, 5 stars, great tour, especially the guide. So now that the tour's over, your duties don't formally begin until tomorrow. If you want, we can take another look at anywhere on the ship, or if you want to call it a day, that's cool too. I think I'm good. I'm pretty sure I looked at everything. How do I... Yeah. I think that's enough for now. I should probably go over the mission logs before tomorrow and get an early night. I know the captain seems pretty relaxed, but I don't want to make a habit of late starts. Cassie. So responsible. I've got the late shift tonight, so maybe I'll get a nap in too. The two of you leave the aft thoroughfare behind as you both head back to your quarters. Sandra being on board had been a huge surprise, but having spent this time with her, you found that all the anxiety you'd been feeling when you boarded had disappeared completely. You continue to chat casually about your schedules, the mission, and your plans for your next shore leave. Eventually, you reach the four-side thoroughfare and you turn down the corridor that leads to your quarters. Okay, I'll see you soon then. Oh. Well, look who it is, the Kalite coward. You don't even need to look beyond Cassandra to know who's standing at the entrance to the corridor. Although you'd recognize the mocking tone anywhere, the real giveaway is the nickname, when you thought you'd escaped a long time ago. Hansen Cruz, or as you knew him, Kalike 3. Oh, that was you. Of the members of the Kalike squadron who'd taken part in the battle, he'd been the only one to return. Even then, that had only been after the ceasefire had been signed. Full 13 hours after he'd launched. From what you'd heard from other crew members, he'd survived by playing a game of cat and mouse with the enemy forces in a debris field. By shutting down the majority of his systems and hiding amongst the wreckage, he'd been able to launch surprise attacks, taking down his pursuers one by one. I mean, I guess I can give you some begrudging respect for surviving that. When he came back to the Kalike and saw your armored frame still suspended from its restraints, he had instantly blamed you for the squad being wiped out. Look, that was not my fault, bro. If you'd taken off when you were supposed to, he'd argued, the squadron would have been at full strength, enough to survive the surprise attack. I doubt it. Begrudging is the key word here, but it's respect nonetheless, I guess. I hope we can set aside our differences, because I have terrible guilt about that. I would have helped if I could. No amount of technical data or arguing that it had been physically impossible for you to launch would have changed his mind. The destruction of the Kalike squadron was on your hands. The worst bit was that you weren't entirely sure he was wrong. Oh, damn. What's up, Lieutenant Wren? You're not thinking of finishing your first day without meeting an old friend, right? When Haru came and told me that some lieutenant called Ren Farrow was our new security officer, I had to come and take a look. No way could it be that wimp from back on the Kalike. They'd had to have been dishonorably discharged for dereliction of duty. But I guess the JCF even is so desperate that they'll hang on to anybody, no matter how much of a screw-up they are. How'd you end up here, Farrow? They decided you couldn't handle a full-size ship, so had to put you with the smallest crew they could find. You instinctively make your hands into fists. Okay, calm down. But unclench them quickly before Hansen notices. Haven't been stationed on the same ship as him since the Kalike, but you'd run into him a few times on board the colonies whilst you were both on shore leave. Each time had ended badly. I mean, my brand of dealing with bullies was to be so unreactive and boring that they lost interest in me. But punching bullies in the face is generally effective as well, but I'm also on my first day here and I don't want to cause problems. I'll just use my words. Tell him to stand down. You almost lash out at Hansen, but stop yourself before you do. The two of you are on the ship together whether you like it or not, and the last thing you want to, is let him know that he can get a rise out of you so easily. Fight the urge to just draw your electroshock weapon here and now. It'd be easy to put an end to this that way, you think. But you know that in the long term it'd probably be the worst decision you can make. Instead, you grit your teeth. Stand down, Ensign. This kind of behavior's out of line. Oh no, what are you gonna do, Lieutenant? Confine me to quarters? On what grounds? Hurting your feelings? Give me a break. There was this spine 4 years ago, huh? You're happy to throw your weight around against your comrades, but not the enemy? See what I was saying, Haru? The lieutenant here's a coward and has been since day one. Won't fight, won't even stand up for themselves. Da-da-da. Unsigned Cruz, you stop this right now! Lieutenant Barrow is... Can't stand up for yourself, so getting the Stits to do it for you. Is it, Lieutenant? How dare you? Cruz, you stop this right now and apologize, or I'll order Lieutenant Barrow to throw you into solitary and write you up myself. You're welcome to try, Lieutenant Commander, but I don't think your security offers got it in them to even try. You think you can take me on, Pharaoh? Oh god. I technically haven't gotten the orders yet, but I will obey them if asked. Step up to Hansen and place your hands on your hips, squaring directly up to him. You look into his eyes and wait for him to blink. A few tense seconds pass, but eventually he blinks first. You hold on to the sigh of relief for now. Unsigned Cruz, that's a request from a senior officer. I suggest that you don't force the Lieutenant Commander to make it an order. You're so close that you can feel Hansen's hot breath on your face as he exhales through his nose and smirks. Why is that? Worried about what you'd have done when I disobey it? Come on then, Lieutenant. What's it gonna be? You gonna show me who's boss on board this ship? You gonna make me obey that order? You just have to escalate everything, don't you? You want to think long and hard about what you're going to do, Lieutenant. You never know when you're gonna need a friend like me. I mean, we're all crewmates here, right? I'm not heartless. I'll even help losers like you out if you've done me a solid or two. So maybe you should act like a professional for once. Or are you going to do something stupid and show the Lieutenant Commander that you're just as much of a screw-up as she is? You take a deep breath and... he's trying to egg me on. I'm not gonna give him that satisfaction. So we're gonna go stand up to him. With Hansen's breath hot on your face, you do everything you can to not bat an eye at that last comment, but despite your best efforts, your hands are clenched into fists. Resist! Resist! As much as you'd like to put 50,000 volts through him for insubordination and insulting a senior officer, you know that that would be letting him win. Instead, you glare into the Ensign's eyes for a few more seconds. You can almost feel Hansen's hatred for you radiating from him like an aura, and it takes all the bravado you can muster not to step down. Hey, Mom, do welcome on in. We are standing up to a bully, and I'm not confident that it's going well. The two of you stand like this for longer than you'd like until... Would you two knock it off already? Oh, she's pissed. I'm on duty this evening, and I don't want to have to update the captain that both her new security officer and lead pilot are in the sick bay. All because their egos are too big to be on the same ship together. So both of you stand down. That's an order. You tell him. Both you and Hansen are taken aback for a moment, like two school children who've been caught in a playground squabble. You turn from Cassie to Hansen and back, trying to come up with something to say. Similarly, Hansen's air of machismo has been dented by this surprise outburst. No, I don't want to hear it from either of you. You're both in the JCF, so maybe you should start acting like it. Onside Cruz, I want you to report to the chief at 0400. You're helping her clean out the organic processing filters. As for you, Lieutenant Farrell, we'll discuss this later. Wait, what? You can't... On sign. Piss off! Oh, she's angry. That's an order. For the first time since you've met him, Hansen looks lost for words. He stands there for a moment, mouth agape. Yeah, Lieutenant Commander. I hear you loud and clear. Hansen thrusts both his hands into his jacket pockets, turning on his heel and heading away towards the thoroughfare. He cocks his head, gesturing to Haro to follow him as he leaves. Before the pair are fully out of sight, he turns back to face the two of you. Good thing. Someone on this crew's able to keep everyone in line. Doesn't seem like our security officer's up to the task. You just had to get one more rub in there, didn't you? Like, screw off, this guy. I really wanted to punch him, but that wouldn't have solved anything. With this parting shot fired Both Haru and Hansen disappear around a corner. You and Cassie stand there watching the space where they'd been. Cassie crosses her arms as she taps her foot furiously. What an absolute dick, I agree. I told you, he's a real... And you! What was that performance all about? I've told you about him. He doesn't back down. You've gotta... I know, but you can't let him get to you like that. Otherwise he'll just keep coming time after time, until one of you does something they regret. You pause for a moment and feel your cheeks grow flush. You're suddenly filled with a sense of shame for being caught out acting so childishly. I was trying to balance it, I swear. Hey, don't worry about it. I know that what the two of you have been through, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, I'd figured he was a real asshole from the moment I met him. Plus, he's going to be busy helping the chief clean out those filters for the next month, so don't worry too much about running into him anytime soon. Words. Her understanding of the bullying, bless her. Still feeling a bit sheepish about your behavior in front of Cassie, you manage a smirk. Thanks for stepping in there. I shouldn't have stooped to his level. Don't worry about it. Just take it easy and don't let what he said get to you. I'm going to go get ready for my shift, so I'll see you soon. Sure, I guess I'll catch you in the morning. Sounds good. Oh, one more thing. What's that? Oh. Cassie steps forward, places her hands on your waist, and stands on tiptoes, raising her face up to yours. You close your eyes and tilt your head slightly in response. I'm gonna make out. Aww. At the moment that her lips meet yours, you forget everything that just happened. All you can focus on is the softness and delicate warmth. After a moment, Cassie slowly moves back, and you open your eyes to find her gazing at you contentedly. You both share the same gentle smile before she steps away. Sleep well, Ren. Cassie walks away. She spins on her heels, gives you a quick wave, and then turns back, heading further down the corridor. As you step into your quarters and head over to your bunk, the door hisses shut behind you. You stand there for a moment, with the smile still on your face before you let out a sigh and sit down. Staring at nothing in particular, you mull over the day's events and Cassie's words from earlier. Big day ahead tomorrow, huh? You sigh. We'll see. I can already feel my congestion acting up. That's half the reason it's hard to talk and narrate is my sinuses make me feel like I'm suffocating half the time. April 23rd, Planetary Calendar 214. 4 days have passed since the JFS Gundog departed on its mission to rendezvous with the JFS O'Brien. In that time, her crew, including Lieutenant Ren Farrow, have fallen into the easy rhythm of life aboard the ship. I should have had some decongestant with lunch. Even as the Gundog enters the outer limits of Jovian's space and is due to meet the O'Brien, there is little for the crew to do, and a general sense of routine permeates the atmosphere. Outer Jovian space, aboard the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. You're just finishing the last of your coffee as a shrill series of electronic pips begin sounding from your wristwatch. Okay, hang on. Sorry, I need to try and clear my sinuses out. I'll be right back. Hi, sorry, I'm back. open my nasal spray. I'll see if that helps. Okay, wristwatch. Without looking to check the time, you turn off the alarm and rise from your seat, knocking back the last of your drink once you stood up, and taking the empty cup back to the food vendor. It's easy to lose track of time on board a military ship where the light is kept at a constant level, so you rely on a series of alarms you've programmed. You know that this one means your shift is due to start in a few minutes, giving you time to finish whatever you may be doing. Place the cup back into the vendor where the machine latches onto it, and then retracts it into space that is quickly sealed by a sliding panel. As the sound of muffled whirring begins, you turn back to face the empty mess hall. Time to carry out the day's security checks then. Let's see. Need to stop by fire control, the hangar, and engineering to check that everything's going as it should. Engineering, hangar, fire control. Well, that's right next door. We'll do that. Still feel a little bit awkward checking on fire control as part of the security report. Although Dylan is always friendly enough, you can't help but feel like you're intruding on his personal sanctuary. Doesn't help that his headphones are so big that it's sort of shaking him. It's hard to get his attention. Well, here we go. Morning, Lieutenant. How's it going? Oh, hey, Dylan. Everything all right? I thought you'd be listening to your music. You're a pretty punctual lady, Lieutenant. So far, you've come by here the exact same time every shift. All I had to do was find which albums would last until just before you got here, and now I don't need to get interrupted mid-jam. Well, look at you. That's pretty impressive. Aren't you going to get bored of listening to the same albums every morning, though? Nah, don't worry about it. I figured out about 15 different album combinations, and that's not including changing the order of play, so I'm good for this mission. Speaking of the mission, you know the drill. Anything unusual? Nothing at all, Lieutenant. Not even a scrap of debris. I've been keeping an eye on the long-range targeting systems, too. And we've had a blip, but the energy readings match the O'Brien, which makes sense. Yeah, I thought so. We're so deep in Jupiter's backyard that I don't think we'll be seeing anything at all aside from the O'Brien. Pausing for a moment as you idly shift your focus from one screen to another, a flicker on one screen catches your attention. What was that? Ma'am? This screen here, it just flickered. What do the readings say? Oh, that's a long-range targeting system. It's fed with data from the long-range communication system, which has been on the fritz recently. Okay. He's been working on it, trying to figure out where all the feedback's coming from. That's the kind of thing you should be filling me in on, Gunner D's. It's our targeting systems. If our targeting systems aren't operating properly, then I need to make sure the captain knows. Oh my god, my sinuses are giving me so much trouble. 1 second. Okay, sorry. Might have to stop a couple times. My bad, ma'am. Since Chief said she was on the case, I figured it was all in hand. Well, let me know next time. That's it, though? Nothing else? Nothing at all. Alright, keep it up, Gunner D's. Yes, ma'am. Oh, excuse me. I'll talk while we're here. I listened to that Trish and the Replicants album you lent me the other day. It was pretty good. Oh, hey. Nice, nice. If you're into it, I've got a few other albums I can lend you. Never heard of firebombing. I was wondering if you had something a bit less rock? No, I like rock. What were you thinking? Well, I really liked the Lynn Minnie song. They were always playing on Europa before we left. Why do I feel like that's, oh, what's that chick's name? From that one 80s space show. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. May May? Is that a reference to her? 'Cause she was a singer? You have anything like that? Why can I not remember what the heck that's gonna drive me nuts? No. What's their name? Friday brain. Never mind. I'll think of it like 3 hours from now. That overproduced twee stuff. Come on, ma'am. Next you'll be telling me you want to listen to a whole album of Princess Maria ballads or something. Is that an FF6 reference? Da-da-da. I mean... Oh, wait, ma'am. Come on. You're listening to Firebombing next, and that's it. Alright, okay. Leave the tape with me next time you pass by my quarters. Princess Maria, you can have a taste in music like that, hey. Alright, I guess we'll move. So it was engineering and... well, engineering is where Buff Lady is, so that's exciting. Hangar, okay. There it is. Yeah. Alright, the hangar. Let's see. Although you take the first 2 stairs normally, by the time you reach the hangar entrance, you're skipping almost every step. Gliding through the door onto the catwalk, you grab the railing and heave yourself over it. You continue to float lazily through the wide open space of the hangar. You start your visual checks. Walkways clear, access points marked, munitions stowed. All the equipment and supplies seem to be where they should be. You casually shift your weight to one side of your body, causing you to begin spinning slowly. As you rotate, the glare from the hangar lights reflects off an armored frame's camera lens, almost as if it was watching you. Quickly dismissing the thought, you turn your attention back to your duties. Eventually, you arrive at the other end of the hangar, where you plant your feet on the thick steel of the main door. From this angle, you can take in everything that you may have missed, including Dalton. You can see in amongst the storage units, his attention fixed intently on a collection of parts in front of him. Cadet Dalton, attention! The junior engineer suddenly snaps to attention the second he hears her call, inadvertently launching the pair of pliers he was holding out into the open space of the hangar. Oh no! Without gravity to stop them, they continue to sail through the air. Off they go. At ease, cadet. You time your launch from the door exactly to allow yourself to grab the pliers as you float over to the startled cadet. I believe these are yours, cadet. Ma'am, thank you. I didn't realize you were... Relax, Dalton. I'm just doing my rounds. I'm not here to check up on you. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Is there anything I can help you with? Just the usual. Everything okay in here? You haven't noticed any mechanical failures? Everything working how it should? Any suspicious activity? And nothing to report, ma'am. I've just been working on my project. Ever since Lieutenant Commander Quinn assigned on-site crews to the filter cleaning, it's given me a bit of extra time to finish things up. Oh yeah? That's your high-density foam that sets rock hard, right? How's that going? That's right. It's good. It's good. I'm hoping to get the chance to test it soon. These containers are full of the compound. I'm just about to try transferring it into some empty training rounds, you know? The ones normally filled with paint. The ones that the armored frame pilots used in practice combat to show when they've hit each other? Mm-hmm. Compound stored under pressure where it remains a liquid. When removed from that pressure, it expands quickly, and with that rapid expansion, it sets... Hey, 1 pint! Thank you for the 47 months to celebrate Muscle Mommy and the Space Waifus! Dun-da-da-da! She looks grumpy here, but she appreciates it. Thank you so much, and happy Friday! How's it going? If I've got this right, then we can test it by firing the practice rounds at dummy targets. When the casing is destroyed, the compound should activate. Good news. Well, if there's nothing I need to know, I'll head out. Let me know if you see anything out of place. Yes, ma'am, I will. It would be unnatural if she looked happy. There was another one I found where she was smiling, but that's because she was geeking out about engineering stuff. Although, I was wondering... What's up, cadet? It's nothing, don't worry about it. No, tell me. If you're sure, cadet. No, tell me, I'm nosy. Fine, let's talk. Dalton, what were... Yeah! Slow down, cadet, it's me. You're very jumpy. Oh, sorry ma'am, I didn't realize you were still here. Don't worry about it. Anyway, you've got something on your mind. What were you going to ask? Oh, it's nothing, ma'am. Don't worry about me. Come on, Dalton. It's not exactly like I'm rushed off my feet doing the security rounds. What's up? Well, if you're sure. Hmm? The chief sent a message that she wants me to head over to engineering to carry out a job. But I'm right at a critical part of the process to decant the compound into the training rounds. If I stop now, I'll have to stow all my equipment, so I'll be late anyway, and then I won't have any time, and then it'll be... Okay, slow down. What do you need me to do? Oh, sorry, Well, I just need a bit more time. Chief's got something they want me to do, but if I stop now, I don't know when I'll get another chance. Is there any way you could cover for me? I'll help you out, yeah. I have to head over there anyway. Say no more. I'll take care of it. I mean, are you sure, ma'am? Don't even worry about it. If it's something I can help with, then I'll lend a hand. If I can't, well, I'll cover for you. Don't sweat it. Thank you, ma'am. With the extra time, I should be able to get these rounds ready for testing before the next day of drills. Thank you. No problem. Now get back to it. If the chief thinks you've slacked off for nothing, then you'll know about it. No, Dalton is... so we've got Dalton, who's male, and, Nerdy Cassette Man, whose name I immediately forgot, is the other guy, and then we've got one, I think, non-binary character, and then I think the rest so far have been ladies. I might be forgetting somebody, but that's what I remember. Thank you, ma'am. I'll get right on it. Okay. I guess... Engineering, talk to the chief in engineering. That worked out surprisingly well for my haphazard route setting. Let's go to engineering, which I think was over here. Yeah. Let's go. Lieutenant Renfero entering main engineering. He declared to the cavernous expanse of machinery and accessways that makes up the engineering section. You'd been instructed to announce your arrival by the chief, and since the last time you didn't share she'd nearly dropped a filtration unit on you to prove a point, you made sure not to forget. Accessways clear, no visible detritus, nothing seems to be malfunctioning. Where is she? Where is she? Where are those muzzles? You stop midway through your visual checks. And no one's throwing heavy machinery off the higher levels to teach me a lesson in proper conduct. It doesn't take long for you to finish your daily checklist. The chief runs such a tight ship that you don't really expect anything less. Now that you think about it though, she hasn't given you your daily grilling about how insulting it is that you think these daily checks are necessary in the first place. Chief, you here? Up here, Lieutenant. Chief, are you around? Damn it, Lieutenant, I'm up here. That's weird. It's not like the chief did not be at her assigned duty station. She's just gonna, like, jump down from the rafters. I'll have to tell the captain. Hey. Damn it, Lieutenant, I'm up here. Look up, you idiot. We found her. Behold her. Looking up, you see the chief engineer leaning dangerously across the safety rail of a walkway a few levels above you. Behind her is a massive cabling that's pouring out of an open panel above her. Oh, Chief. Morning. Good morning yourself. I've been calling back to you this whole time. You forgot to clean out your ears or something? Sorry, Chief. It's pretty loud in here. Nothing in here's running above a safe decibel limit, and if you tell me otherwise, I'll come down there and recalibrate your ears, please. Yes. What? You quickly mentally calculate the time it would take for her to get down to where you are, and the time you need to get out of engineering. Although you fancy your chances, you wouldn't bet money or your ears on it. Must be me then. Anyway, I'm just filling out the daily report, Chief. What's going on up there? One of those clowns at the colony dock who took part in the maintenance process must have done something stupid to the long-range communication system. For the past 12 hours, we've been picking up huge amounts of feedback. He must have made a bad connection, but I can't find it, and all this shoddy wiring. That must be the system that Dylan was talking about. Dylan, that's his name. Are you sure there's nothing out here that could be sending a signal? broadcast from the O'Brien, one of our reconnaissance satellites? No chance, this feedback is way too intense. Even a standard broadcast shouldn't produce this much noise. Unless maybe they calibrated the long-range system on the short wave bands. In that case, the sensitivity would be off, so it would... Chief? Huh? Oh yeah, like I was saying, there's nothing around here that should be kicking out a signal with this kind of capacity. It's like it's picking up something with an amplitude and frequency 10 times higher than our standard equipment. Uh-huh. Which could be the result of a processor loop. Maybe I should check out the initial conversion driver next. Okay, well, in that case, Chief, I'm gonna let the captain know, okay? Huh? I'll put that in my report for the captain, alright? Oh yeah, sure, I was gonna let her know when I'd fixed it. But those dolts have done a real number on this thing, so it's gonna be longer than I thought. Alright, thanks for the heads up. Alright, that's all of the routine checks carried out. Time to report to the captain, but no, I need help. Oh, Chief, one more thing. Are the issues with the long-range communication system going to interfere with standard maintenance? Do I need to follow up with operations to get you some support? Depends how badly those idiots back at Europa have fouled things up. Normally something like this should be a quick wiring fix, but I can't trace back the fault. Ugh! Although maybe the problem isn't with the wiring around the receiver, they could have crossed wires on the broadcast hardware. Yes or no, Chief? We'll talk. Most networking engineers I know are extremely anal about wiring practice. Oh, I believe it, yes. Good wiring cabinets are transcendental to look at. They just, they make the brain neurons very happy. Oh no, today's scheduled maintenance is pretty light even, so Dalton should be able to take care of it. He's not scheduled to report to me until later, though. When you go to the hangar, tell him to pack up his project and get over here on the double, you hear? Actually, Chief, now that you mention it, Dalton said he's a little bit busy with his project at the moment, and that stopping would throw the whole thing off. So I said I'd cover for some of the maintenance tasks. Oh, he did, huh? Yes, Chief. And you said you'd cover? Yes, Chief, that's right. As the silence between you and the Chief drags on, you begin to regret offering to do Dalton a favor. Now that you think about it, what exactly do you know about maintenance? Not only is the Chief going to give Dalton grief for passing off his workload, you're going to get it in the neck for... Well, if he says it's an important stage in his work, I'm not going to drag him away. Oh, good. Yay. I was worried you were going to yell at him and me. I mean, you can yell at me if you want. I won't argue. What? Kid's been slaving over that project night and day. Got to admire his love for the craft. You let yourself relax. Thankfully, it looks like the Chief's got something of a soft side after all. I like her. She's great. Good wiring management make neurons go brrrr. It sure do. I'll be able to pick things up here, but I've got one of his jobs that you can do for me. What do you need? The Chief turns away from me and squats down, rummaging around in her tool pack for something. The batteries in the emergency spacesuit radio packs in the airlock are due for replacement. Take these and switch them out for the old ones, okay? Okay, airlock. She casually tosses 2 battery packs towards you, which you just about catch, surprised by their heft. You got the charged batteries. Roger that, Chief. Once you got the old ones, bring them back here and plug them into the power distribution module. After that, you're free to go. Swap out the batteries in the emergency spacesuits in the airlock, then bring the old ones back here to recharge. Simple. Watch me find a way to screw this up. Okay, airlock, emergency spacesuits. Got it. Let's go to... Alright, let's see. The Chief said it was the batteries in the suit radios that need changing. Firmly grabbing the locking mechanism's handle on the suit's container, you twist it 90 degrees clockwise and then pull. The door offers more resistance than you'd expected, but once fully opened, it remains in place. Reaching inside the container, you hold your left hand against the suit's rigid breast panel and grab the large black block of plastic that protrudes from the panel's left side. The tug that the block pulls away, trailing a curling cable that keeps it connected to the suit. As you pull it away from the suit, you flip the radio over to examine it. The bottom half of the device contains a pistol grip with a secondary microphone and speaker which allow it to be used separately from the suit, and your thumb rests comfortably on the push-to-talk button. The top half of the unit's underside has a backlit LCD screen showing the current frequency it's tuned to and battery level. Below the screen sit a few ambiguous buttons. To its side is a dial for tuning and a power switch. Whilst this unit holds the main workings of the radio's receiver and transceiver, the wire that still anchors it to the suit connects it to the small microphone and speaker inside the helmet. Flipping the whole unit around to look at it at its underside, you see a small latch set into a recess which you pull down on with your thumb, releasing the cover and letting the old battery slide out into your palm. Old battery out, you murmur to yourself as you take it in your spare hand before sliding it into the opposite pocket from the fresh batteries. You got depleted batteries! And now to put in the new batteries. Fully charged batteries for the airlock spacesuit's radios. New battery in. The battery replaced, you reattach the compartment cover, which snaps back into place. Once you set the radio onto its mount on the suit's breast panel, you step back, close the suit's container door, and twist the locking mechanism 90 degrees counterclockwise. One down, you move to the other storage unit and repeat the process of unlocking the container, taking the suit's radio, swapping out the batteries, and then replacing everything as you found it. Great, all done. Let's go get these back in charging and engineering. I did a task. Go to engineering. Where do I charge them? Lieutenant, have you sorted out those batteries yet? No, not yet. I was... And what are you hanging around for? I didn't let you help so you can waste my time. Get those batteries changed. Or I'll have you and Dalton scrubbing the biofilters. Yes, ma'am. Chief, even. I forget. Was it this? Alright, here we go. You take each battery that you'd removed from the suit's radio and place them in the charging ports on the side of the power distribution module. You slide in and lock into place with the satisfying clunk, and a red light right above the port lights up with the amber glow. Great, a job well done. Chief, I did the thing. Need to go pick up the lad. Maybe it'll catch more, or may not. Regardless, have a lovely stream. Thanks, 1 pint. Safe travels. Thanks for dropping in. We'll talk to you soon. All sorted. Good, you're not as useless as you look, Lieutenant. Keep it up. Thanks, Chief. I guess. Alright, we're gonna go talk to Dalton again. Let me just check this. Okay, talk to Dalton. He's in the hangar, right? Boop. Dalton, it's done. Okay, I might skip over some text just to save my vocal cords a bit. Excuse me. Lieutenant, great timing, look at this! Whoa, slow down there, cadet. Grab a hold of him by his sleeve to stop him from sailing past you, right into the wall by the entrance. Bracing yourself on the railing, you can track his momentum and bring him down onto the catwalk. Good news? Great news! Check this out! Dalton proudly presents the object he'd been inspecting earlier. It's a bullet. Okay. Although on first glance it looks like a standard 40mm round from one of the Juno's machine guns, and the plastic casing gives it away as a training round that would typically be filled with paint. This feels a lot heavier than normal though, suggesting different contents. Oh hey, good job, you did it, huh? That's right, I've got the pressure right and figured out the volume of sealant for each round. I even managed to get the training rounds to seal properly afterwards so there's no risk of spillage. A round like this should be able to immobilize any joint on an armored frame with ease. That's great to hear, Cadet. Well done. Thank you, ma'am. I couldn't have gotten it done so quickly without your help. Oh, was everything okay with the chief? Did she mind? What did she ask you to do? Nothing major, just had to swap some batteries out on the emergency spacesuits. Even a security officer like me can handle that. That's all. That's all. She genuinely seemed like she thought it'd be best to carry on with your project. That doesn't sound like the chief. Hey, come on. I'm sure she can be alright. Sometimes. I'm sure she was going light on us because she knew what you were doing was important. Or maybe she's just saving all my jobs from today for tomorrow's shift and will want me to work double time. Easy there, Cadet. I don't think she's that bad. Maybe. Don't sweat it, Dalton. It'll be fine. You did well today anyway. Now finish up producing all the rounds we'll need for testing, and then get this hangar ship-shape. You know the chief likes it clear. Yes, ma'am. Alright, well, I should go and give my report. Take it easy, Cadet. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Lieutenant? Cadet? Thanks again. I don't know when I'd have gotten a proper chance to do this without your help. Anytime, Cadet. Aw, he's so earnest. Alright, let's maybe I'll have a quick save. Oop, oop. Save here. Okay, actually, sorry, one more thing. Yep, that's that. Okay, so let's go talk to Captain, which means I need a map. Bridge. Bridge? I've completed the security report for today. Should I go up and give it to the captain, or should I take another look around in case I've missed anything? I wonder if there's, like, character interactions. Maybe... Let me just take a quick peek. Maybe if we go to the vending machine, Cassie will be there. Where was the vending machine? Remember. Sick bay. Actually, let's go see if we can find the doctor. Lieutenant Farrow, can I help you? No, thank you, Doctor. I'm just stopping by. For what purpose? If I can't help you, then I would have to assume you're here for some other alternative purpose. You intend to make small talk? No, I didn't really come here to pick up more nutritional shakes for Miss Quinn. No. On the captain's orders. No, look, as part of your routine checks. Yes, just doing the routine checks. Checking in on you. Everything okay here, Doctor? Dot. Yes, don't let me keep you, Lieutenant. You're clearly very busy. Great, thanks. I'll just be, carrying on with my rounds then. Okay. We'll keep working on it. Alright, so that's that. Guess we could go here. Oh, that's where I was. Okay, never mind. That goes up to the bridge. Mess hall, that's where it is. Anyone here? No one here right now. Well, fine. Maybe... here? No one here right now. Okay, what about... Are you here? We're just gonna barge in. We should at least knock. You punch in the 4 digits, passcode, and the terminal flashes the text "access granted" whilst the door slides open. You step into Cassie's quarters, being careful not to trip up on any errant clothing. Surprise! You announce to an empty room. Huh, I didn't think Cassie was on duty right now. Cassie? I'm gonna snoop. Okay, maybe not. Is there anything new to look at? Snoop. No? Okay. Guess not. Just gonna try to be exhaustive. Standing at the end of the corridor next to the captain's quarters, you're not entirely sure what drove you to come this far. It wasn't necessary for your report, and there's nothing to check either. Oh, you turn to leave, but stop quickly when you hear a faint noise. Looking around, you don't see anyone, and you hadn't heard any approaching footsteps, so it wouldn't have been anyone in the floor-side thoroughfare. You stay still and silent, as a few seconds pass. You didn't realize the first time, but the noise seemed to be coming from the captain's quarters. This time of day, the captain would be on the bridge. You're due to make your report to her soon. Hello? You knock gently on the door and wait, but get no response, although there's no further noise either. Pausing for a moment, you consider knocking again, but decide against it. That's weird. Probably just blocked vent or clogged pipe. I'd better get on with my report. Captain, there's something going on in your room. Okay, so now I feel like that I need to be exhaustive. I didn't think that would do anything. I was just hoping I'd run into someone in the hallway, maybe. Okay, that didn't have anything. Let's try this one. I'm here right now. Talk to myself. Anything on my computer? Huh, okay. Map. So we've done there. Done those. Did I go to this main one? Okay. Aft thoroughfare. Assume if someone was here, they would pop up and talk to me. Okay. I've done that. I'm gonna assume I don't need to go to the others. Airlock I've done. Armory. I guess we could look at the armory. Okay, I don't see anything else, so we're gonna call that good. Head to the bridge. I wonder what that noise was. I'm glad I looked around. Just in case that changes something. Alright then, no sense in delaying seeing Captain Bartermuse. Lieutenant Renfero entering the bridge, you declare, stepping from the elevator and throwing a salute. Looking around the room, you see Vanessa, who remains focused at her station, not paying you the slightest bit of attention, and Cassie, who stands from her station and comes over to you, a wide smile on her face. As you remain at attention, you notice that the captain's chair is empty. Okay, so it was her. Presumably. At ease, Lieutenant. Captain Bartermuse isn't with us, so I'm in charge of you today. A small tut comes from Vanessa. If Cassie heard it, she doesn't show it. Oh, is that right? I've come to make my report. That's right. Dr. Rosarium advised me that she'd suddenly taken ill. Oh no. Vanessa makes another, louder tutting noise. Cassie pauses for a split second, but quickly carries on. So he's ordered her to her quarters for some bed rest. We're due to enter communications range with the O'Brien any moment now, and from there it's just a matter of coordinating our patrol paths. Nothing I can't handle. Right, the security report, Lieutenant. Oh yeah, of course. You clear your throat, feeling a bit awkward. Although you'd been on the ship together for the past few days, you'd mainly seen each other between shifts where rank didn't really mean much. Cassie acting seriously didn't really seem like Cassie at all. Security report for April 23rd, PC 214. No breaches or hazards to report, ma'am. No sign of immediate threats or security risks to the ship herself, and all shipboard operations proceeding as expected with little likelihood of disruption. And nothing? Well, the chief has run into some feedback issues on the long-range communication system, which is impacting the visuals on the long-range targeting system. It Doesn't seem to be enough to stop normal operations, though, and they're in the process of isolating the problem area to start repairs. Cadet Grange also has completed the system to load the high-density foam he's developed into training rounds for the Juno's weapons. He's scheduled to have produced enough rounds for tests in time for the next training exercises. Oh, that's pretty great. Good for him. But that's about it. Business as usual. Here's my written report. You reach into your jacket pocket and take a hold of the written copy of your morning report, as well as the completed checklist, which you then pass to Cassie. Once in her hands, she flicks through them casually, giving them a quick once-over. Thank you, Lieutenant. I'll get these logged. Feel free to return to your standard duties. Yes, ma'am. Cassie turns away with the documents in hands. She glances across to a display screen showing the time. Vanessa, have we heard anything from the O'Brien? We're beyond the scheduled meetup window. Are we picking them up on sensors? Uh-oh. There's nothing on sensors, Lieutenant Commander. Not that this interference is making things easy. I'll try scanning on different frequency bands in case the O'Brien is having the same issue. Vanessa begins to flip switches and twist dials, filling the quietness of the bridge with a series of noises that range from annoying buzzes to painfully shrill screeches. After a few moments, a communication window on the main screen illuminates, and a slightly distorted voice speaks. Oh, hi. Do you read? We are at the rendezvous area and have a mission update. Please acknowledge. I repeat. This is Lieutenant Bashir of the JFS O'Brien, JFS Gundog. Do you read? We are at the rendezvous area and have a mission update. Please acknowledge. With Lieutenant Bashir from the O'Brien relatively clear on the communication window, Sandra hastily grabs the microphone. Roger that, JFS O'Brien. This is Lieutenant Commander Quinn from the JFS Gundog. We're picking up your signal and have arrived at the rendezvous area. Please transmit your precise coordinates. Over. We read you. That's a sweet voice you got there, Gundog. That's inappropriate. I'm transmitting coordinates and mission updates files now. It's good to finally... Lieutenant Bashir, do you read? Uh-oh. Vanessa, are you still getting a signal from the... The comms are being overloaded. There's a powerful signal coming in on all bands and it's... Ah! What the hell just happened? Is everyone okay? Commander Quinn? Commander Quinn! Cassie! Oh god. Cassie? What? Oh no. Even before your eyes adjust to the minimal lighting of the bridge, you kneel down and reach out into darkness, trying to find where Cassie has collapsed onto the deck. You search blindly for a few seconds until your hand meets her shoulder and you move towards her. Cassie. Hey, Cassie! Say something! Cassie! Hang in there, Cassie. Lieutenant Lord, call sickbay and get the doctor up here right now. I can't. Why not? The ship's entire system has been knocked offline. Even the emergency backup systems. It's all offline. We don't have time for this. Get it back online. You rise quickly and dash over to the elevator, slamming your hand into the call button. I feel like that's not going to work. I'm going to take Cassie down to the sickbay. You can... Aside from your voice, the whole room remains totally silent. Most conspicuously absent, though, is the whirring of the elevator that would take you directly to sickbay. You rapidly press the call button in frustration. Idiot! What part of offline do you not understand? Quinn's not going anywhere until at least the backup systems are online, but that can't be done from the bridge. What do you mean? How do we get them back online? It's an emergency failsafe. There's a critical failure with the central computer and it can't function properly, then the entire ship will be shut down. Then it enters a lockdown mode until it can be rebooted. All areas are sealed in case the shutdown is the result of enemy action. The main computer and engineering needs to be physically rebooted to restore any sort of access. Of course, since this is a security system, you should know all this. You grit your teeth to stop yourself snapping back at Vanessa. In the heat of the moment, all thought of process and procedure had left you completely. All you'd been thinking about was getting Cassie to sickbay. Placing your head in your hand, you pinch the bridge of your nose and try to focus. That's right, but isn't the order to reboot the central computer given from the bridge in that situation? Why did you say we can't? 2 reasons. First of all, this lockdown shouldn't affect backup systems. But for some reason, everything seems like it's offline, which means there's no internal communication system right now. Blah, blah, blah. Secondly, even if we did have the internal communication system, access to the central computer requires input codes, which are known only by the captain. Or in the event the captain is incapacitated, the second in command. Vanessa turns to look at Cassandra, who shifts slightly. As she continues to talk, you head back to Cassie, kneeling beside her and placing her in the recovery position. Feeling the cold steel of the floor as you turn Cassie over, you take off your uniform jacket and lay it over her. Which currently would be Lieutenant Commander Quinn. Meaning that right now, both the people who know the necessary information to get the ship back up and running are out of action. There's gotta be some way around all this. Weren't you listening? This isn't supposed to happen. We should at least have the backup systems in place. Without them, there's nothing we can do except sit around and wait for the air to run out. Horrifying. What about the O'Brien? Can you contact them for support? What part of everything is offline? Yeah. Everything is offline. What part of this are you not getting? As you kneel over Cassie, your mind races through what Vanessa has just told you. You know that she's right and that all the ship's emergency action plans revolve around the backup systems being operational. Without them online, there's next to nothing that can be done within the ship. Your mind catches on that point for a moment, and you can't help but wonder whether whoever wrote that plan was optimistic enough that they couldn't see a situation where the backups failed. Or whether they were so pessimistic they felt if those systems were out of commission, there was no real hope for the crew either. Pushing that thought out of your head, you desperately try to figure out a way to get Cassie to the sickbay. Go through the panels. There's got to be something you know about the ship that would help. In all your time you've spent working as security officer, there's got to be something that you've picked up that would... That's it! Yeah. Oh, I used my brain. In the crew quarters, the panels by the bunks can be removed and replaced. People use the space in the structure to hide contraband. What are you talking about? The ship's maintenance crawlways are accessed in the same way, if I'm right? You head back over to the elevators, but this time instead of trying to call them, you begin to run your hands over the seams in the wall panels on either side. Eventually, you notice a gap a few inches in length. Normally, maintenance would have a special tool to access this, but you can do the same thing with... I know I've got it on me somewhere. Where is it? Can I slip that in? Taking your ID card out of your pocket, you slide it into the gap in the seam until it meets some resistance when it's about halfway in. You slide it up and down a few times until you feel it stick on something, at which point you push harder. Suddenly, you hear the sound of multiple catches disengaging and the panel falls toward you. Taking the wall panel in both hands, you place it to the side of where it used to be attached. Now, instead of a solid wall, you can just about make out an absence large enough for someone to fit inside, with a series of rungs heading downward into the darkness, which opens up once they pass by where the elevator currently sits. How did you know how to do this? This is one of the first tricks you learn as a security officer. Ship crews get very creative with where they have to stash things, where they stash things even. With these panels, it makes sense that the maintenance crawlways are accessed in a similar way. Well, great, now you can crawl around the walls in the dark. Very helpful. You grit your teeth and breathe. You haven't talked to Vanessa much since you first met, but you are now beginning to understand why she always ate alone in the mess hall. If I can get it up, If I can get it up here, it means that I can get out down in the central hub. If I can get in up here. Like, that didn't make sense. From there, I can see if I can get the emergency input codes from the captain and make contact with the chief in engineering. I would love to read that log. I can't seem to read that log. You really think you can solve this by clambering around inside the walls? Even if you can make it to the central hub, the rest of the ship will. Lieutenant Lord, would you... I'm going to stay calm. Please keep your opinion to yourself. Thank you, Lieutenant Lord. You snap back, barely suppressing your anger at her constant pessimism. But right now I don't see many other options except for this one. For all we know, we're the only people on the entire ship who might be able to do something. I'm not about to sit around and let everyone down. Not this time. Oh, my chance for redemption. So I'm going to leave you here to look after Lieutenant Commander Quinn, unless you have anything you want to try that you think might help. Vanessa stares at you for a moment as if weighing up what the best put down for the current situation is. Instead, she heads back to her station and starts flicking switches and pressing buttons on her control panel. All right, you do that. I'll try to get the internal communication system working. Since the backup should work in a situation like this, maybe there's a way to get them back online. Da-da-da. Get moving. Why are you going to stand around and gawk whilst I get everything done myself? Girl, I need you to defrost a little faster, please. You inadvertently sigh loudly as you turn around and reach out into the crawl space, grabbing a rung and then placing your foot on one lower down. Hopefully I can get things back online with the chief and the captain's help. Just look after Lieutenant Commander Quinn until then, all right? Vanessa turns away from you, continuing to adjust the inputs on the communication system. Yeah, sure. Da-da-da. With that, you lower yourself into the darkness, taking it one rung at a time. Once you're past the stationary elevator, you can feel the space you're in open up around you. Carrying on downwards, you reach behind you every so often to see if you can feel the catch system that would keep an access panel attached. After a few attempts to find it, your fingers eventually brush over a catch. With some coercion, you manage to get it to release, causing the whole panel to fall off the wall behind you and clatter onto the floor of the central hub. Phew, did it. As you step out of the crawlway, a loud banging starts from nearby. Uh-oh. You immediately reorient yourself to face the room, placing your hand on your electroshock weapon just in case. As you scan the room in the dim lighting, the banging continues and you realize it's not coming from anywhere in the central hub, but one of the elevators. Oh no! That would be so scary! With your hand still hovering over your weapon, you slowly move toward the noise, trying to make as little sound as possible, hoping that whoever or whatever is making it doesn't know you're there. Despite the darkness, you can see that the elevator doors are open slightly, with an inch or so gap between the two doors. As you angle yourself to try and see what's inside, your question is answered. I frickin' knew it. Hey, who's out there? Whoever you are, help me get these stupid doors open. Whole thing's jammed. You pause for a moment. You haven't seen Hansen since the other day outside your quarters. I know you're out there. I heard you. Get over here and help me get these doors open even. Hey, what are you waiting around for? As Hansen continues to call out, you size up the situation. With the darkness of the room, you could easily come up and go without him being able to tell that it's you. On top of that, it's unlikely that he'd be able to force open the elevator doors on his own. I don't want to leave him in there as much as he's obnoxious. Hey, come on! This isn't funny. Who's out there? Stop jerking me around. It's petty, but part of you almost relishes the idea of Hansen seeing how it feels to be trapped and unable to do anything. Haru, if you're messing with me, I'll kick your ass! Still, he's a member of the crew, and as a security officer, it's your role to keep them all safe regardless of how much of a dick they might be. You take a deep breath and... Yeah, I'll help him, as tempting as that is. I might make a backup save here just so I can try that out later. Just for giggles to see what happens. Come on. Hold it for a second before releasing one long, constant sigh. Hey, I heard you. I know you're there. Get me out. Alright, Ensign. I'll take the door on the right. You take the door on the left. And on the count of 3, we pull. Great. Everyone on board and it's a Calite coward. Figured you'd stop by here, find a nice little space to crawl up and hide in. Helping me out so we can trade places and you can ride it out until the action's over. I will leave you here if you don't shut up. You immediately begin to regret your decision. Cruz, do you want to get out of there or not? Whatever. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3! The two of you both heave against the elevator's doors, which shift slightly but not enough for Hansen to get out. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3! This time the doors yield a little more to your efforts. After they open a few more inches, you step back to catch your breath and watch as Hansen sticks his arm through the gap, but struggles to get any further than that. Once more and we should have you out of there. Shame your girlfriend isn't here. At least she's got a backbone she could be putting into this. Dude, you're so caustic. You freeze for a moment as all of your muscles stiffen reflexively and a wave of anger flows through you. Remember what Cassie told us. Excuse me, Ensign? You heard me. She's the one of you two with any stones. If she hadn't been there to save you the other day, You'd have what? I'd have... Think hard about your answer, Ensign. Give me the wrong answer and you can try and squeeze that thick skull of yours through that gap without any more of my help. ... Yeah, that's right. Forget it. That's what I thought. Now, get ready. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't be such a dick now, please. Takes the two of you a few attempts, but finally you manage to push the doors open to the point where Hansen can make his way through the gap between the two of them. Free of the elevator, Hansen dusts himself down and looks around whilst adjusting his jacket. So what the hell's going on? What's happened to this ship? Why has everything stopped working? Should be backups or something, right? He paused for a moment. Despite having been on the bridge when everything went wrong, he'd probably have as much of an idea as Hansen would. Honestly, we've got no idea. I was on the bridge when it all happened. We made contact with the O'Brien. There was this flash. Then Commander Quinn had been knocked out. All the systems were offline, even the backups. I managed to get off the bridge using the maintenance crawlway. Now we're trying to figure out a way to reboot the computer to get everything back online. Just great. I knew this ship was a piece of junk the moment I stepped on board. City guys had a plan to get things up and running, yeah? Yeah, kinda. Great, you can handle that. I'm gonna go check on the crew. Have you seen Haru? No, I haven't run into them. Okay then, I'll try their quarters. That Hansen heads into the darkness towards the four-side thoroughfare. He stops briefly, turning to face you. Lieutenant? Thanks. Or whatever. Aw. There we go. See, we've got an understanding now. The pilot quickly turns on his heels and disappears into the darkness. Don't mention it. Okay. Let's see. I'm probably going to do a shorter stream today. Let's see if we can go talk to the captain maybe, or what are my tasks here? Captain or chief? I feel like I should touch base with the captain first because she would be like top priority in this situation. So we should go to her room, I guess. Can I fast travel like this? Yeah. Standing in front of the door to Captain Bartermuse's quarters, you instinctively straighten up, sticking your chest out and your shoulders back. You know that your access card doesn't have the encoded permission to allow you to access the captain's quarters, and even if it did, the terminal to the side of the door is as lifeless as the rest of the ship. Instead, you bang forcefully on the captain's door and shout, "Captain Bartermuse, it's Lieutenant Farrow. There's been a system failure and Commander Quinn is incapacitated. We need you to give the emergency input codes to restart the ship's central computer." After waiting for a few moments, you press your ear up against the door, seeing if you can hear any signs of life. From experience, you know that the crew quarter doors aren't as substantial as some of the other doors on the ship. It's not uncommon to know the exact schedules of other crew members based on sound alone. "Captain, it's an emergency!" Wait a little while longer, but still don't hear anything. Maybe she went to engineering already? Ah, damn it! Slamming your fist on the captain's door in frustration, you turn back. You'll have to figure something else out. Well, that didn't work. Okay, over to engineering. I do kind of want to check in on everyone, but let's start here. As you leave the central hub and enter the long corridor that comprises the aft thoroughfare, the first thing that you notice is the sound of your steps on the metal flooring ringing out and echoing away down the corridor. Normally, the vibrations from the engines would dull this noise, and it would be barely perceptible over their low and steady rumble. You had got to the point where you didn't even notice the constant noise down this end of the ship, but now that the corridor is silent, its absence hits you. Move to engineering. At the end of the aft thoroughfare where the corridor would normally transition from corridor into the engineering department, Instead, you're met with a substantial blast door with the word engineering stenciled onto it. You run your hand over the surface before rapping on it with your knuckles. Rather than a low ring which would indicate it being relatively thin, this door returns a higher pitched noise, indicating that it's significantly thicker than normal. Unlike the rest of the doors on the ship, which are designed as entrances and exits, you can tell that this one exists more to block one section off from the other. You instantly dismiss any thoughts of forcing it open. It's likely that even the contents of the armory couldn't shift it. After a minute or two of fruitlessly inspecting it, you shrug to yourself. The only thing you can do right now is hope that the chief is nearby. Hey, chief! You pound on the door with your fist, hoping that the sound makes its way through. Chief! Can you hear me? You continue to pound on the door and yell, stopping every so often to hear if there's any kind of response. Chief! I'm out here! Chief, hey! After a few minutes worth of attempting to make contact, you stop and flex the fingers on your right hand, cracking your knuckles to try and dismiss the discomfort. Ow! I am fragile. Given the size of the engineering department, you begin to think about how close the chief would need to be to even hear you, and the odds of that happening. Before you can resume your attempts though, you hear a dull, repetitive thudding coming from the other side. Morse code? Chief, can you hear me? I'm out here! You call, pressing your ear up to the blast door to see if you can hear an answer. Instead, you just hear the same dull, repetitive thudding. At first, it seems random and erratic, but the longer you listen, you begin to realize there's a pattern. Ugh. That's great, but what does it mean? In defeat, you slam your fist against the door one more time. Chief, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'll try and find a way to get in there with you. At least I know someone's in there. There's gotta be some way I can get in touch with them. Send them a signal. Maybe there's something I haven't thought of yet. An emergency communication system? Something that's not tied into the ship. Think. Ooh. Okay, something not tied into the communication system? Trying to remember. There was the radio on the battery pack, maybe? As you enter, the airlock hatch door looms large in the darkness. Fear runs through you and you rub your forearms. It wasn't something you'd noticed until now, but as you feel the goosebumps that cover your skin, you realize that the ship's temperature has now dropped noticeably. Oh god, we're gonna freeze. I've got to find a way to get things up and running again. It's very cold in space, I'm concerned. Hopefully I can get this solved without needing the extra air supply. Yeah. Oh my god, did I actually use my brain twice in this stream? Hot dang. Wait, I've just changed the batteries on these to make sure the radios would work in an emergency. Wonder if any of the other radios on board will pick up the signal. Ha! I bet that's what the chief was trying to tell me. Of course she'd come up with a plan like this before anyone else. Now, let's see if I can reach her. Grab the handle on the suit's container and twist. The metal in your hand is noticeably colder to the touch than it was the last time you were here. Once the lock is undone, you open the door and, bracing the suit with your left hand, grab the radio with your right. As you disconnect the radio unit from the breast panel, the spiraling plastic cord that connects comes with it. Okay, I'm gonna skip through this bit because it's similar to what I already read. You quickly extend the telescoping antenna and flick the power switch, which causes the sound of whining static to fill the previously silent room. You slowly rotate the tuning dial, working your way through the frequencies until a familiar voice comes out from the tinny speaker. Emergency broadcast from Chief Engineer Mackenzie Cathays on the JFS Gundog to any JFS Gundog crew members or any JCF ships nearby. Oh, look at her little portrait! The Gundog has suffered a complete systems failure and assistance is needed to get them back online. I repeat, this is an emergency broadcast from Chief Engineer Mackenzie Cathays on the JFS Gundog to any JFS Gundog crew members or any JCS ships nearby. Okay, that's the same. Chief, this is Lieutenant Farrow reading you loud and clear. I've managed to get an emergency radio from one of the suits in the airlock. I'm able to get around the thoroughfares and to the bridge, but I can't get anywhere else. It took you long enough. What the hell's everyone been doing this whole time? You're just about to push the button to send your response, but the chief cuts in. Anyway, you're in touch now. That's what counts. You said you could get to the bridge. Is that right? That's right. Then get back up there and get the captain to give me the input codes to access the main computer so that I can get to the ship running again. Slight complication, Chief. The captain's taken sick. She's not on the bridge. Classic Bartomuse. Then get back up there and get Lieutenant Commander Quinn to give me the input codes. She's out of commission too. She collapsed at the same time the ship's power went out. You release your thumb, allowing the chief to broadcast. But where you expected a swiftly delivered alternative, instead all you get is radio static. Chief? Nothing's ever easy, huh, Lieutenant? Who's currently on the bridge then? That'd be Lieutenant Lord. Well, she's the commanding officer on board right now, I guess. I'm going to want to get up there. I've got an idea, but it's not something I can authorize. Your grip on the radio tightens as a sense of apprehension grows within you. You don't know what the chief has in mind, but if it requires the authority of the ship's senior officer, you know that it's gotta be something dangerous. Realizing you've been holding your breath since the chief's last message, you breathe out and push the button on the radio side to send your message. Copy that, Chief. Heading up there now. Radio in hand, you quickly make your way back from the airlock into the central hub and then head straight for the maintenance crawlway. Only takes you... I wonder if I should have gone and looked for other people. Only takes you a moment of groping around in the darkness to find a ladder rung before you're on your way back up to the bridge. No more time to waste, you quickly head back to the crawlway. Only takes you a moment of groping around in the darkness to find a ladder rung before you're on your way back up to the bridge. As you climb, each rung that you grip is cold to the touch. The air that you breathe has a brisk chill to it. You know what this means, but for the time being, decide to push that thought out of your head. Got other things to focus on. Climb up seems a lot shorter than your original climb down, and you soon emerge back on the bridge. Vanessa swivels in her chair and paces over to you. Okay. You know what, folks? I think we're gonna end it there. A little bit of a cliffhanger today. That seems like a good point to stop, so I'm going to throw down a save. And we're gonna try and get out of this situation tomorrow, hopefully. We're on chapter 4. Dang, I forgot to look up how many chapters there are. I think I read this game is generally between 5 to 8-ish hours from what I saw on Steam, so I figure we can at least get 1 or 2 more streams out of it. But yes, that will be all for today. I decide if I want to raid out or if I just want to run. I think I might just leave it there. My brain is starting to crash, because Friday brains do that sometime. But thank you so much for hanging out. I'm still enjoying this a lot. I kind of feel like I should have gone and explored for the other crew members maybe, even though, what's-his-face said he was taking care of it. But, anyway, that's alright. We've got the backup if we want to play around with it. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'll try to be on tomorrow if I can. If not, then by Sunday for sure. And, let's see if we can maybe get this game done this weekend. I'll be a little sad when it's over. It's been very fun, but that will be all for today. So until next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.